An Xbox Cloud gaming comparison gives us very interesting results, especially if you're still on the Xbox One. Microsoft has acquired a company for Xbox, but it may not be what you're expecting. And Call of Duty Vanguard's file size for the Xbox is actually pretty small. Alright guys, before we get started, make sure to check out plumegear.com in the description below if you're interested in supporting the channel and picking up some gear like I have on here. So from the start of the Xbox Series X and S launch announcement, all that kind of stuff, Xbox said that they were committed to still supporting the Xbox One with the cross-generational stuff, with the smart delivery, and making sure that you are going to get the version of the game depending on what console you are playing on. All of that has been really good. We've seen smart delivery, just how important that has been this generation, especially when you're comparing that to what the PlayStation 5 has and the debacle of trying to upgrade games on the PlayStation 5. And this to me was just really forward thinking and an entire plan of making sure that even if you haven't upgraded to the Series X and S because you can't afford it, you don't want to, or probably the biggest reason of them all, being able to find stock online, that's probably what's going to hold most people back going forward in the next year or so, trying to get an Xbox Series X and S. With that being said, Xbox has been working very hard to bring Xbox Cloud Gaming out to more devices, and one of those devices that we are recently getting access to Xbox Cloud Gaming on is going to actually be your console, specifically the Xbox One console. Now, this is a really cool video again by El and Alista Debits, who do all these really cool comparison videos, so make sure to go check out the video and go check out their channel. It will be in the description below. But the channel compared Gears 5, Forza Horizon 4, Hellblade, The Medium, Psychonauts 2, and Battlefield 5, comparing the native Xbox One versions of these games compared to how they perform with Xbox Cloud Gaming. And it's pretty awesome to show off here that if you're going to be playing these games via streaming, and it will also depend on your connection quality and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have a significantly better experience playing these games via Xbox Cloud Gaming versus playing the native version of these games. So it's about a 10-minute video, so there you can go and check out every single game, but the gist of it all is that if you are playing a lot of these games natively on the Xbox One, you're going to have slower loading times, 30 frames per second, and dynamic resolution, so it won't always be at 1080p. But if you're going to play a lot of these games via Xbox Cloud Gaming through your Xbox One, you're going to get way faster loading times, 60 frames per second, and 1080p resolution. So that is just a major upgrade from what you would generally get right now on the Xbox One, which makes sense. I mean, the Xbox One is an old console. Even when it was initially released, I felt that it was pretty weak, and they didn't give us like what we have now with the Series X, where we're getting a lot of power right out of the gate. But to me, this is just an awesome thing to see. It's a great solution from Xbox to fill that gap for people who may be potentially wanting to get a Series X or Series S in the future, or maybe not, but still giving them the ability to experience and play all of these next generation games at least 1080p at 60 frames per second, and potentially even ray tracing, seeing all that kind of stuff. Now, like I said, it's going to really depend on your connection quality. If you have a good connection and you have an Xbox One, you're set right now for these next gen games if you don't care about the 4K resolutions. So all in all, this is just a strategy to continuously support as many devices as possible. And if you're somebody who was thinking about picking up, let's say, Halo Infinite when it comes out, and you want the next gen version, you could stream it instead of just playing the native Xbox One version, because you're probably going to have a better experience streaming Halo Infinite on your Xbox One than playing the actual native version of it. So Microsoft has acquired a new company for Xbox, but it isn't a company that is going to bring us more games. It is going to be a company that helps support the online security of Xbox and Xbox Live. Now, this company is called 2Hat, and 2Hat is a content moderation platform for filtering messages, and they use AI for content moderation at a vast scale, filtering online messages and providing increased user protection. So it's just going to make our experience on Xbox Live, I guess you could say, safer and potentially better depending on the type of messages that they filter out. I know that on Xbox Live, for me, I get messages from spam accounts all the time with the links in there and just like random stuff that if I were to fall for those messages, I would probably compromise my account. So I am happy to see that they're hopefully focusing more on that kind of stuff, focusing on just making sure there are no spam and hackers and people trying to breach other people's Xbox's accounts, and that will make the experience better overall, especially if you're somebody who does get a lot of those. But apparently they've also been working for years with Xbox and Microsoft and doing this kind of stuff across Xbox Live, saying, "I've witnessed the impact they've had with an Xbox, and we are thrilled that this acquisition will further accelerate our first-party content moderation solutions across gaming within a broad range of Microsoft consumer services, and to build greater opportunity to our third-party partners and to Hat's existing clients' use of these solutions." So whatever that means, I think at the end of the day, Microsoft acquiring the studio will just give them more range and more resources and more time to be able to make sure that they're doing their job properly. So over the last couple of years, Call of Duty has really been known for those massive file sizes. I think Call of Duty Cold War, Black Ops Cold War was like 230 gigabytes all in, and then Modern Warfare 2019 was like over 150 gigabytes, something crazy like that. So that's a very sizable amount of space that you're taking up on not the biggest amount of storage you have within these next gen or these current gen consoles for one single game. Well, it looks like there is some good news. Call of Duty Vanguard isn't going to be the same, and what is more interesting than all of that is over the last couple of months we've seen file size comparisons for games, and it seems like the PlayStation 5 has generally had the smaller file sizes for games, and we're not sure why. Maybe it's the compression, all that kind of stuff. But Xbox has velocity architecture, and theoretically that means that we should be getting smaller file sizes overall, and maybe it just hasn't been utilized yet by developers. But it seems like that may be the case this time with Call of Duty Vanguard, as we have the file sizes here, and the Xbox Series X file preload is 61 gigabytes, the PS5 is 64.13 gigabytes, but overall you're going to need about 90 gigabytes of required space for the PS5 version, about 72 gigabytes of required space for the Xbox Series X version. So that's a decent difference between the two versions. Maybe they are utilizing that velocity architecture, and we're really seeing what that's going to be able to do with the file compression going forward. But all in all, at the end of the day, 90 or 72 gigabytes is a welcomed addition to the Call of Duty franchise on consoles, and not being 230 gigabytes like Cold War was. And hopefully it won't get up to that amount as the year goes on once the game releases. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. What do you think about this cloud gaming on Xbox One and how it gives you a better experience than playing games natively? What do you think about the Top Hat acquisition and the Call of Duty Vanguard file size? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you saw throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, helping this channel grow, help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.